call Adam Searle to the microphone.
Thanks, Chair. Adam Searle, State Parliamentary Labor Party. Delegates, the Labor Party is not just a social democratic party, it's a party with deep roots into the community because it's based upon an organised movement of working people embodied in the trade union movement of this state and this nation. This has had two important effects. One is our party remains concerned about how public policies affect everyday citizens living in our towns and suburbs everywhere in the state. But secondly, it has ensured that political Labor remains concerned about how the world of work impacts on individuals, families and communities. How we as a society regulate work, the rights we give individuals and collective groups is a very important, it says a lot about our society, and it says a lot about political parties as to what policies they offer the community in this regard. What have we seen since the Liberals and Nationals came to government in New South Wales? We've seen changes that have seen the independent umpire stripped of its power to set fair wages and conditions, reduced to a rump of only a few members. We've seen work safety laws and their enforcement watered down, moved into the mainstream court system, the Special Industrial Court abolished, and public sector working rights seriously eroded. There's a big campaign underway about changing the rules, and this really raises the question, what should a state Labor government do on industrial relations going forward? Apart from the public sector, apart from local government, should we just leave it to the Commonwealth? I don't think so. I think there is a lot that a state Labor government can and should do. At the 2015 election, we put forward a bold suite of measures using various approaches which promised to protect workers who were pregnant, had family responsibilities in terms of flexible work, new protections from sex discrimination, new improved pay discrimination laws, laws to tackle bullying at work and protecting whistleblowers. We think that there are gaps provided in the Fair Work Act where matters have been expressly left to the states. We should fill those gaps to make sure that workers are treated fairly in the workplace. We should improve, refine and reorganise existing state laws, tribunals and courts to make sure we have a proper functioning industrial jurisdiction. And we should use the undoubted powers that the states have always had to legislate with respect to matters entirely within its power, such as the criminal law. You will remember last year Luke Foley stood here and promised to stamp out the scourge of wage theft using the criminal law in part of this state. And where no laws, state or federal, address problems in the workplace, a state Labor government should not be frightened to take bold and innovative action. For example, we've seen recently talk about Foodora and Deliveroo drivers. There's a whole problem with the gig economy. They're not regulated by anyone. That is a matter that we will have a lot more to say about as we approach the election. But I want to talk about workplace safety. Workplace safety is being neglected in this state. In the 10 years to 2011, a Labor government achieved a 51% reduction in workplace injury rates and a 66% reduction in work-related fatality rates. But when we left office to the last election, this government reduced workplace visits by work cover inspectors by over 40%. There was over a 50% reduction in prosecutions and a nearly 60% reduction in fines collected by the regulator. Even since the last state election, there's still nearly a 50% reduction in prosecutions and a third reduction in fines recovered. They just don't believe in enforcing workplace safety. As a result, we have the highest number and proportion of workplace fatalities in this country. The first year of the coalition government saw overall deaths attributed to the workplace increase by over 4%, and in its first 2 years, deaths actually occurring in the workplace increased by nearly 8% and then by over 5% in 2 successive years. And after a bit of a decrease, the death toll in the workplace again started to climb, increasing by over 16% in 14-15 and by over 15% the following year. Those of us who go to the International Day of Mourning and hear the heart-rending stories about too many people dying in the workplace know that business as usual cannot be allowed to continue. And this conference and its affiliates have been speaking about the need to address the consequences of workplace death in a firm and resolute way. Today I can announce that a Foley Labor government elected next year will implement specific workplace death laws that punish the consequences of deaths in our workplace. This will provide heavy penalties for corporations where workplace deaths occur as a result of breaches of work safety obligations. It will also provide significant jail penalties as well as fines for individuals in appropriate cases. Importantly, we'll make sure that the law is not used to inappropriately scapegoat individual workers and made responsible for corporate failures to ensure safety in the workplace. We'll make sure these laws are used only in exceptional circumstances and where absolutely appropriate to do so. This is our commitment. I support the report.
Thank you, Delegate.